Hello, and welcome back to Wario Land Shake It, in which we're entering the post game, which is like the post fold, but instead of being for a single level, it's an entire video game, and that's actually kind of an untrue statement, because everything we'll be doing here today, you could have done before fighting the Shake King, with the exception of the boss missions. So, it's sort of, you know, a disturbing tomb. The first bonus level that we unlocked. You know, we got it here in Whoopsie Desert. And now we're finally doing it. 10 episodes? Yeah, 10 episodes later, because we did an episode 2. So Disturbing Tomb, our missions are to finish before the clock hits 3 minutes, beat the stage without taking damage, collect 36,000 coins, defeat the golden enemy, destroy, I almost said beat all the bomb blocks, destroy all the bomb blocks, and eat 5 heads of garlic. So, bonus levels. They have kind of like two uniting factors between them. The first one being they have a shit ton of missions. I think they all have 6 or 7, 7 being the max amount of missions. I don't think there's 8 missions. I think 7 is the max, because this is the 6th Wario Land game. So I was like, this is the 7th. No, it's not the 7th. It's the 6th Wario Land game. So, you know, there's a crap ton of missions. And the other thing about these bonus levels is that they all are alternate versions of levels we've already seen. So Disturbing Tomb is an alternate version of Whoopsie Desert, the level that we got the map in. And most like secret levels tend to be like, you'll get like the map in that level, and then it'll be like, oh, the level that you got the map in will be the alternate version of that one. But sometimes they're not. It's not all that special. If they're not, it's just something. Most of the time, that's that. So I just stopped because I wanted to talk about the mummer, and my brain was still thinking about the other thing, and I couldn't stop because the mummer is an enemy we didn't see until Area 5, but you can come in here and see it in Area 1 if you find the bonus stuff. But I mean, like, you know, you can find and do these levels beforehand, but I don't think you're supposed to, seeing as you don't actually get the ability to find the things until you do the thing. Like, oh, here's a flips thing. We didn't see these until we fought Stinky. Bloomsday the flower, because it was Bloomsday Blowout. I had to think about that for a moment. So yeah, you know, the alternate levels will always be like alternate versions of a place and the world that they're in, and that's all I wanted to say about that. And then I got like super sidetracked. So there's these blocks over here. Kind of confuse me a lot. Oh, and I screw it. Oh, hopefully this won't screw me over. Because, okay, so there's that max velocity dasherator. So the way these blocks are makes me think, oh, you should like max fast run into that first room you were in, and perhaps you can use that to get to that ledge you can't get to. And I don't think that's possible. I haven't been able to do it. That's another one of those things that I tested a whole lot, like with the stupid water treasure room. But the real purpose of it is you're supposed to like hit the max velocity dasherator, run over, like jump over there, and then use those blocks to give you room to turn around, and then be able to. Actually, I should stop before I do this, because I would like to come up here and defeat this Bumbleprod, because this Bumbleprod, he in my way. I don't want to dash past here and then for him to get me, and then because that'd make me very sad. But yes, the point of those blocks is you would. Oh, I didn't think I was going to make that. The point of those blocks is supposed to give you, like, room so you can, like, turn around, so you won't have to do what I just did, like, wait for the thing to come down or make, like, a really well-timed jump, because you can just time the jump. But, you know, you don't have to use those blocks, and it kind of confuses me and makes me think that they want you to do something else. And, oh, that's kind of interesting that you can use that uncertainty block to make stairs there. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe the idea is, like, to make you think, oh, I should go back, and make you think about, like, oh, maybe there's something in this area, because, you know, if you don't do that, you won't be able to get the instant Tootin' Ramen, which is such a good joke. I wonder, like, what its Japanese name is, because, like, you know, instant ramen is still a thing, but I wonder, like, how, like, the English, like, you know, Tutankhamun ramen, like, how that works in, like, Japanese. Like, I assume it still works pretty well, but it's a good joke. That's all I wanted to say about that, and then I just got, like, very heated, because it's, like, it is such a good pun. Instant Tootin' Ramen, like, fuck off, it's so good. Yeah, I like these levels a lot. They have like they tend to be like alternate color, what do you call those, palette swaps of like the previous levels. Like the alternate versions aren't just like, oh well, here's that level again. Like they tend to like be like reflavored, kind of like this one. Like, so, oh, it's nighttime, and now there's like quicksand, which is interesting because quicksand wasn't in the previous level, so they added a new mechanic in there. I want to take care of this turkey jerk before I worry about the bandonero. Well, he might fall in there and die. I hope he doesn't. We'll just go ahead and just do this, because the way the quicksand works, it doesn't actually kill you. You just sink to the bottom of it, and it's obnoxious. It's not like, you know, there'll be certain parts where it'll drop you off somewhere. Is the bandonero still down here? Yeah, the Bandit Arrow is still down here. Oh, and I can't do an Earthshake Punch down there. What if I do it here? Yeah, we knock him up, and then we can come down here, and we'll find our boy. We'll go ahead and shake him out, see if he gives us any garlic. Nope, you're useless to me. I shouldn't have bothered. I should have let you die at the bottom of that quicksand, because we need to eat 5 heads of garlic. And if you're not producing garlic, you're not useful to my mission of eating 5 heads of garlic. And if you're not useful to my mission of eating 5 heads of garlic, what are you even doing in this video game? Get out of here. So yeah, I just find it interesting that you find these enemies that, like, you don't see, and it's like they still make sense here. It's not like, oh, we did it, Gray. Cray? I meant to say hooray. Like, they make sense. Like, oh yeah, flip thing, scorpions, desert, boom, makes sense. Where should we shake this out? I'm not exactly sure. We can take this over. This will be a little risky, but yeah, this will work out fine. Can we sink fast enough? Oh, this is actually a bad spot, I think. I don't know if we actually managed to acquire much of that money. I wasn't paying attention, so not gonna do it there. Maybe it'll be somewhere over in the other. Oh, there's like literally the perfect place to do it, and I go the wrong stupid way. Quicksand. I was talking about quicksand, and then I was talking about, and yes, the enemies, like scorpion enemies, mummy enemies, make sense in your Egypt level because, you know, mummies aren't just for your spooky times; they're also for your Egypt times. You can have them in both. They're applicable in both areas. So yeah, it's just interesting that, you know, you find enemies and mechanics that you don't see in your main one. So quicksand, just kind of a nuisance, really. Like, you just fall in it and just like, oh, you got to jump out. There was similar quicksand in Wario Land 1, but also it hides secrets from you, which kind of ticked me off the first time I played this level because I was like, where the hell are these secrets? But they do a decent job of showing you that there's something, because you come down here and you can see this little area that's like, oh, how do I get down there? There's a semi-solid platform stopping you from getting down there. And this one, they block off, so it's like, oh, maybe there's something unique with this one, and I should be on the lookout for it. But, you know, it's just still like, if you're not paying attention, you're just going to walk past it and be like, well, what was I supposed to do about that? And, you know, they immediately do this again, so if you don't do it, you're going to be missing out on a lot in this level. Let's go ahead and destroy the Bumble Prod. Oh, I didn't destroy. Oh, that was weird. The Bumble Prod got destroyed, but it took like a moment for the game to register that it was killed. I'm not entirely sure what happened with it. I feel like this one's a bit fairer than that other one because, like, hey, there's still like the thing where they block it off, but they make you spend a little bit more time there because you know, rather than just ground pounding it, you have to hit the uncertainty block. And then there's coins down there tempting you to go down there. And, you know, there's also that semi-solid platform without quicksand. So I feel like this one's a bit more fair and like leading you to realizing that there's something happening over here. Not that the other one was like totally like unfair or anything. It's just I feel like this one's even fairer, which makes it better game designed, because that's how video games are designed. The fairer they are, the better they are, which isn't actually true, because sometimes, you know, some unfair things are necessary. But, you know, it takes a lot of thought goes into making games like fair and work out. And oh, here we go. We're at the end of the level, which means we can actually start the difficult part of our journey. So this level, there's 6 missions. You're going to have to do two runs of it. Surprise, surprise. I should have done a big ground pound, because if we'd done the big ground pound, we would have stunned the mummer. But unfortunately, you know, we had to do an Earthshake Punch instead, and then a dodge he burp, because, you know, his burp would have hurt us, and then we would have had to like been sad about that. But now we have to go through a cannon segment to escape this level, because you remember this is an alternate version of Whoopsie Desert, and Whoopsie Desert was what introduced the cannons to the video game to us. And let's go ahead and just retry this. I'm not sure if I'll be able to figure out this cannon on like just like a few attempts. Like maybe I should like have a full run at it before like, oh, now I'll retry it immediately. Like I gave up like at step 1 because I'm like, oh, I did this wrong. I should probably retry it. Probably not the best instinct. I should probably see what the entire cannon segment looks like before, like, oh, I should like restart a whole bunch of times. But it's fine. It's good. We can just continue onwards and doing our best and continue with this cannon segment. So if you remember in Whoopsie Desert had a very similar area where it was like a big like vertical shaft of cannons like we had to traverse. But unlike in Whoopsie Desert, this one can't be cheesed. Like that one, if you shot yourself at a certain angle, Wario would bounce off walls, and like you could like skip cannons and just kind of like get through the area a little bit quicker. This one is not so kind. You have to shoot exactly the way the game wants you to, and you're firing off screen to a lot of cannons, which it seems like something I'd be like, oh, well, that's unfair, but it's not actually all that unfair, because there are passageways that are shaped in such a way that they kind of lead you like, oh, I should, you know, fire the cannon in this specific way. Oh, no, I need to angle before I shoot, because if you charge your shot, you can cancel it by pressing 1, but once you like charge your shot, you can't re-angle it, which is actually kind of a convenient thing, because if you could re-angle it after you charge, then you'd probably end up screwing yourself a whole lot. So okay, so that's the cannon segment. We can continue and move on. So if you were to take this bottom route right here, there's the golden enemy down there, and I'm not going to worry about it because I'm not sure which area we should be going to first, and I'm just not going to worry about it because we don't have much time. I don't think we'll be able to accomplish time on this run, so we're probably going to be resetting, because I would like to do time on this first run. Oh, nope, I shouldn't have jumped there. But I will go ahead and just see, because I think this is the last thing we would do, because we'd come down here, we'd fire ourselves into this cannon, which I've angled myself badly, and then we would fire ourselves this way, and this will take us straight to the end. And I think, actually, I'm going to go ahead and see this next screen. There's money there. I'm going to go ahead and pause. Yes, that'll get us to the money that we need. Okay, so cool. If I can do that a little bit quicker, we'll be all good in the hood. And then which of the missions would that accomplish for us? That'll get us time, that'll get us coins, that'll get us hearts. So we will just be left with destroy all bomb blocks and defeat the golden enemy, which I did a heightened grand panel a little early. Okay, so that's cool. We're able to figure that out. This is where I was really worried about having to do a whole lot of like starting over, not like this level in particular, but now that we're in the bonus missions, because the bonus missions, the bonus missions, yes, I was worried about, because there are a lot of missions to these levels, but the bonus levels I was worried about, because the game like supers just like, no, these are the hard levels. We're not gonna be nice anymore. It's time to wrestle with your Wiimote and try to get a perfect shot off on the cannon, but unfortunately you just do a bad job, because the Wiimote, damn it, the Wiimote's gotten up in age, and this is actually bad. This is actually this vertical shaft of cannons kind of sucks, because if you mess up at any point, you have to go straight back to the beginning, even though there are like places you can land. Because I don't think you can like cram yourself in a one of those horizontal cannons. Because I don't think you can like. Oh no, I need to shake the Wiimote. I was rubbing my eyes waiting for it to do it, but you got to shake the Wiimote to uncage the Merfolk from. Oh, you know what? We'd never really talked about the Merfolks. I just realized this is episode 12, and we didn't really ever discuss the Merfolks. So the Merfolks, obviously the video game wants you to save them because they're the cute little like merchandising creature, which that's probably not fair to talk about in the case of this game. This game didn't like really get like merchandise, or like it's not like there's Merfolk. I don't think there's Merfolk plushes. Maybe there is. I doubt it, because this game, I don't think it sold super duper well. Because I think the Wario Land franchise like sold like each consecutive game sold worse and worse from each other, like with I think the exception of Virtual Boy, because just not very many people bought the Virtual Boy, and the Virtual Boy was dead within like months of its own launch, so that one's not like really a fair comparison. But so I'm pretty sure 2 probably sold better than Virtual Boy at the very least. But the Merfolks, the first point I was saying, we never really talked about them. So the cage that they're stuck in is called a Merfolk barrel, and that's something I actually didn't know. I found that out. I was looking for an art asset for one of the previous episodes while editing, and then I saw, it's called a Merfolk barrel. I didn't know that the cages were called Merfolk barrels. That's definitely seems like some kind of weird Japanese thing where they're like, oh yes, this cage is a barrel. I mean, it is barrel shaped, but I wouldn't think to call that cage a barrel, even if it is barrel-esque. But also the Merfolks, like, what do you actually use them for in the game? Like they open the boss doors, but like it's not like the jewel pieces in Wario Land 4 where you can miss them. You are forced to pick them up, and the amount of Merfolks you get in an area doesn't matter, because as long as you play the required levels, you will have the Merfolks will just open the gate for you, regardless if you do all the bonus missions or bonus levels or not. It doesn't really matter. You'll fight the boss anyways. So they don't really matter. You're just kind of saving them because you were tasked with saving them, even though Wario, as we saw in the ending of the video game, doesn't really give a shit about the whole mission of saving and helping people. He's here for the treasure, the bottomless coin sack, and he's not even going to pretend that he's not, because he's the best. And don't angle. Let's go ahead and unfire and then shoot, and that should knock us straight into the thing. I'm actually going to put my finger on the pause button so I can be ready to exit the level just in case. Nope, we'll be good. Cool. Good. We've done it. So now we just play the level without doing those things. But like I was trying to say about the Merfolks, they point you in the direction of the exit. They don't do a super great job of it. They kind of point towards the exit of your current room. So they won't immediately be like, turn around, even if you can't turn around. So they're not super dumb, but they're not like super duper smart. They don't have like pathfinding like to get you through a room or anything. They just point you towards like the exit of the room. But now we need to go back into Disturbing Tomb. So I thought about the cannons while I was going through this level, and I was thinking about it, like, why don't I like the cannons? Because I think the cannons are, for the most part, pretty well designed. So with the cannons, they're not like, oh, once you get in them, like it's a one shot, you miss and you're screwed, even though some of the level design can kind of come out this way. So maybe the level design contributes a little to me not liking them. But for, like, as a mechanic, on paper, I think they're pretty well designed. Like, if you mess up your, once you like angle your shot, you press 2 and you hold it down, and then once you let it go, you fire off. But when you're holding it down, you cannot re-angle your shot, which sounds like it'd be bad on paper, but it's actually pretty good, because it means, like, once you make the angle for the shot you want, if you mess up that angle, it's fine, because it's like you're locked into it. Like, I'm shaking the Wiimote and nothing was happening there because we were locked into it. Also, if you decide, oh, my angle's bad, while you're holding it, like, because if you let go of the button, that's what makes you shoot. You press 1 and you go back into, like, your aiming mode, so you're not locked into a shot even once you, like, try to shoot. Like, you can have a couple shots, pun not intended, but I appreciate it. So basically pun intended. They're not that bad. And I think what I don't like about them is the aiming, because I don't like the aiming in this game either. And I think I figured out what I don't like about it. First, we'll go ahead and destroy this mummer, who we will unfortunately have to destroy. We can't even shake him down. And I need to wait for you to be unstunned so I can hop off of you to get up here, because, I can't shake mummers, so destroying him is the best we can do in terms of money. And not that we're really worried about money. We have more money than we'll ever need in this video game. But the aiming, like, the aiming is very analog. I mean, it's not actually analog, but, it's, you aim in, like, 16 directions. I don't know how many directions the aiming actually has off the top of my head, but you aim a certain amount of directions, but the actual act of tilting the Wiimote around isn't analog. It's a very digital action. Like, the rocket buckets feel very good, and I like the rocket buckets. So I think it's just converting this very digital signal down to analog just doesn't work out very well, because then you don't get the tactile response of, oh, this is, like, where I should, like, this is how I should tilt it. So you just end up tilting it strange directions and then being confused, like, wait, why'd it go that way? Just because you don't get the response, and it's like, it's converting it. There's some kind of math happening, like, oh, at this angle, this represents this. And, maybe if you're holding it a certain way when you start, that can kind of confuse it or something. So there we go. I figured out why I don't care for the aiming in this video game. It only took 12 episodes of talking about this video game non-stop to get there. Now that the tomb has been successfully disturbed, we can move on, and we can now gurgle an entire gulch, which will not get any tougher than gurgling the entirety of a gulch, because you must finish before the clock hits 145, beat the stage without taking damage, collect 30,000 coins, don't take any large silver coins, defeat the golden enemy, beat the stage without using the checkpoint, and don't touch any Scarracuda. So, Gurgle Gulch, we got the map for it back in Foulwater Falls, because it is an alternate version of Foulwater Falls. And just like when we went to Foulwater Falls, I had complaints of stupid water treasure rooms, and what was new at the time, the challenge to finish a stage without taking any damage. This one now introduces what is by far the worst alternate mission level mission thing in the entire video game, which is beat the stage without taking a checkpoint. Because I don't like the don't take any damage, because I'm a little bit of a screw up, and I tend to hurt myself. So it's like, not a big fan of that one. And then they just go and make it worse with, oh, hey, if you mess up on the stage, now you got to repeat the entire thing. And this is going to be a dual run thing. And I want to jump so that Scarracuda doesn't touch me, even though it doesn't really matter, because we're going to be handling Scarracuda in the second run, just because we're going to try for the escape in this one. I don't know why I was being so nice to them. I guess I just got it in my brain. I should be nicer to them after all the failed, like, don't destroy the enemies, even though it doesn't really matter here. So yeah, just not a big fan of beat the stage without touching the checkpoint, just because I find things like that in video games to be a little obnoxious. It's basically the same complaint I had for don't take any damage, but kind of extrapolated a bit further, like going like, oh, what if we just made it just a little bit worse? And I probably shouldn't jump into this max fastosity dash rater until I know what I should be max fastosity dash rating at, but it's whatever, because we've now seen some things that will be useful to us. So something that I've neglected to mention, whenever you enter a max fastosity dash rater, also that Ammonite shell is a lollipop, and that's pretty cute. It pulls out the camera a little bit, which is nice because then you can, you get a bigger field of view, so you can react a bit better and have, more room for reaction. But also, since it pulled out the camera, we were able to see up on top of these blocks, which, I mean, we can also jump up there. And actually, I want to do this a little bit closer because we can see that there's a bag of money up there. And if we were to have let it fall all the way, it would have hit the spikes and exploded on the spikes and died, and we wouldn't have gotten the delicious dosh that lives inside. And we want loss of the dosh, so we will have to, I do that to move on. And I need to be careful with the Scarracuda because he could hurt me. And even though we're going to touch a Scarracuda at some point, if we can do, our first run with no damage, that'll be nice and just take a little bit of the burden off on our second run. Also, there's another weird thing up there on that other block we could have let down, but we didn't, so we'll move on. And just like in Disturbing... just like in Disturbing Tomb, we unfortunately cannot shake the golden enemy because the golden enemy is a bumble prod and we can't pick them up. So yeah, there was a weird thing on top of that block, and oh look, there's another one of those weird things. This is a crackpot. It's a new enemy, and this is kind of a strange enemy too, because like they're. Oh, I didn't know they could shoot whenever you're holding. Was that like, do it again? I want to see them do it again. That's interesting. Oh, I wonder if that has a use that I've forgotten about, because like I said, I don't know this game super well. Well, it's not that I don't know it super well. It's just that I don't know it as well as some of the other Wario Land games, so you'll understand. But they're more or less basically just the short fuses, because they shoot a little cannonball whenever they can in little intervals. But they have custom art. They're cute little octopi in pots, so they're called crackpots because they're crazy and they're in pots that are also cracked. So they're cute enemies. I don't exactly understand why they exist because they're basically just short fuses, and that isn't to say like, oh, I don't appreciate the work that went into making new art for this enemy. I more mean to say is I don't get why they made them exist. Like, oh, let's make an alternate version of a short fuse essentially, and then like never use it, like, because this is the first time in the game we've seen them, and I believe they're only in one other level in this video game, and these are all like the bonus mission. Well, the bonus levels that a normal person might not find because they might beat the Shake King and be done, and just never find the secret maps. Because if you don't know where the secret maps are, you're basically not going to find them your first time through. Because when you beat the Shake King, it shows you where they are, and then once you know where they are, it's no problem to find them, because then you just go to the level map. Level map's like, oh hey, there's one in here, and then once you see it, there's a sparkly, so you know exactly where to pound. So people aren't dedicated. Once they beat the Shake King, they'll just kind of back out. So they may not end up seeing these cool enemies that they made, and it's just kind of a shame. Also, like I said, this is an alternate version of Foul Waterfalls, and just like in Foul Waterfalls, we have this like run up a little tower of things using your dash, and then you get to the end and there's a treasure, and there's two pipes on the other side, so if you mess up on the other side, you can get out. But unlike in Foul Waterfalls, we can actually see where that pipe leads to, so we don't have to worry about where things are. And oh look, there's a cute little turtle. Turtles, very good animal. They're one of my favorites. Turtle frog, favorite animals. But as we know, the best dinosaur is that one right there, the Triceratops, the coolest dinosaur, proven by science. It'll never go out of style because science don't change, baby. Once science is set, nothing changes it, and that's just how it works. And it's been really unfortunate that nothing has ever changed despite what science says, and that has nothing to do with people being shitty, and everything to do with definitely the intended use of science. So I do really like Gurgle Gulch. It's fun, even though it has the beginning of the worst. I hate the stupid don't touch a checkpoint missions. I cannot bring myself to enjoy them. Also, I neglected to mention it when we were on those other ropes, but those ropes were really long, so they swing really fast. And I don't know if that's because like the way they program the ropes to like not shake, but swing. I had to swing the Wiimote to remember the word swing. Swing at like a certain speed, and regardless of, oh, you got me. Well, luckily I've already taken damage, and I'm just gonna go ahead and shake you just for the, why not? I'll take that. Well, I won't take the garlic because it ran away from me. But it's just interesting how. Oh, the garlic came back. I thought it. Oh, I was like, I was so certain it would despawn, but it's fine. It's whatever. So. Crackpot's pretty good. I showed you all the animation, but I'll just do it again just because it's a good animation. When you kill them, they come out of their pot and they like flop around. So yeah, I don't know what's up with the ropes. They swing a little fast whenever they get longer, and I don't know if there's just a set speed that they have. Set amount of time to get to either side of like their complete arcs, if that's the deal, or something, but they just go really fast. Now, this is a arrangement I really like where you're dashing, and you just got to hit all of these buttons, all these uncertainty switches, to go ahead and make it to the end to get something important. What a good treasure. It's just a fun little arrangement of like, oh, you know, you're constantly hitting buttons. You got to like, you know, utilize all of like the dash's abilities, and like, it's a good time. It's a good thing. That's all I wanted to say about that. Was I thought that was a good arrangement, and then I'm glad I didn't turn my brain off, because I lightly turned my brain off there, and I might have just ran into spikes. Had the brain not kicked it, but luckily the brain did kick back in. Let's drop you down there, because I don't want you causing any trouble, because those pitchforks, troublemakers they are. Like we saw, like I didn't realize they could stop your dash. I mean, it makes sense because they got a spiky thing. Oh, also there's an alternate version of the crackpot, which is just so weird. I wish they would have used them in more levels. Like, I mean, I guess the problem was most of the water levels in the video game tended to be, you know, sub-Warine levels. These guys could have fit in a sub-Warine level, like, you know, kind of been like stationary turrets or something. Also, I didn't really point it out, but the purple ones just fire multiple shots. There's not much more to them than that. You know, basically the same as most alternate shooty, pointy, Rudy 2D point and shooting enemies. I was trying to remember that phrase because, you know, goddamn, it's a good phrase. But I wish we saw more of the crackpots. They're fun enemies. It would have been nice to see them, because then we'd give it a bit more variation in the enemies we see in the game. Not to say that, you know, oh, the game needed more enemies, because every enemy in this game is a treat. And I wouldn't say go make more enemies. It's just a shame that they made an enemy and then didn't really use it to its fullest potential. Now, I'm not sure if we should use the checkpoint now, because, you know, we're getting all the treasure, or if we should save it for the next one. We don't want to touch any Scaracudas, because I feel like we're gonna have to reset a couple times, not touching the Scaracudas. I'll save the checkpoint for that one, because I don't know how rough the Scaracuda thing will be, and I'm hoping this won't come back to bite me, because now we need to do this without messing up. I need to get all of the treasure. Well, we got all the treasure. We need to get all of the coins. I don't know if we'll be able to... Oh, I wasn't paying attention, and I forgot that there is an arrangement here. I find this arrangement a little annoying, because, you know, it's a fine arrangement. Like, oh, you know, the water's going down. You just avoid things as it comes down. You know, it's a dangerous elevator. Video games love dangerous elevators. But I'm not a big fan of this, because, you know, like, the escape sequence starts, and then you're immediately, you know, forced to do this, like, very slow, like, water declining section. It just kind of feels like a waste of time, and I should probably swing on the wrong parts of those, but it's fine. Let's continue onwards. I don't really know what the route for this level looks like, so I'm gonna try my best. You know, it's what I always do. I'm always trying my best. I messed up because what I did know about this level is I wanted to get down there. I don't know if we'll be able to hit time in this level, hit our time requirement on this escape. Maybe we can do it with the Scaracuda one, because I've messed up this part pretty badly. So we're definitely not going to be making it out on time now, but I can't restart because we did not hit the checkpoint, so restarting would just mean doing the entire level over again. And, I need to jump a little bit sooner if we want to get down there, because that's the thing that throws me for a loop for this level is, you know, I forget about that little, like, slidey block area that we need to exit out of, and then by the end of the level you're like, wait, I'm missing shit, how do I do it? And I keep jumping at the wrong time. Now I'm hoping I don't just mess this up wholesale and, like, we run out of time, because if we run out of time, the Shake King is still gonna come and shake the shit out of us, even though, you know, we've murdered the Shake King. I keep, like, trying to jump too early on, like, the second one and not on the third one, because the third one's the one that we need to jump immediately, but I'm kind of, like, overcompensating and jumping too early I'm jumping too early, so there we go. That's all we needed to do. We needed to jump there to continue onwards, and, oh, well, there's a dash raider right there, but we should be fine. Hopefully we'll be fine. I'm just gonna say we'll be fine. I don't actually know if we'll be fine. We're definitely... I mean, we've already failed time, you know, we already failed most things, but we have our coins. We will be getting the checkpoint thing, so for the next time we just need to not touch any large silver coins, and we need to just get out in time, which I hope we can do, because I don't really know the don't touch Scaracuda's routes off the top of my head, so I'll just hope we can do it, and I think we'll have enough time. 40 seconds should be enough time to get out of level. No, we touched Scaracuda. Not that we already touched Scaracudas. We've already gotten hurt. There's nothing that Scaracuda could have done unless it dealt, like, 7 hearts of damage. Then I'd be a little spooked. So yeah, we had plenty of time to get out of the level. The scary Shake King music will probably kick in. Oh, I thought it would kick in before we got out, but it's fine. It's fine. We didn't touch a checkpoint. Now we just need to do the entire thing again, but faster without getting hurt and not touching any of the large silver coins. So, hey, this is going to be another one where we play the entire level together once again. Oh, there's so many missions that we didn't do. There's so many. The video game just there's so many missions in some of these levels. It feels like 7 may be too many to like. I was gonna say too many to like throw on a person, but like you're not supposed to do them all in one run, and it's not technically even possible to do them all in one run. What is it? This one I don't know if it'd be. I'm assuming it's not. Speedrunners do not do them in single runs, and I assume if speedrunners aren't doing it, then it's not possible. I mean, granted, I doubt that this game has been milked in the way that lots of other speed games have, and speed game, just games that people speed run. We already need to restart. I picked up a large silver coin because I was not being careful because I was not thinking about those silver coins. The not touch any silver coins. That is an interesting mission requirement. It's a bit, I guess, counterintuitive for like, the same way like, destroy 5 enemies with icicle. Don't destroy any enemies in a level. It's counterintuitive in the same way of like, don't get this amount of money, but also don't touch these things. You'll probably need to hit the money requirement. But I'm not going to complain about them because I'm going to be careful this time because they change up the game in a meaningful way of like, now we have these things that have never been obstacles to us, and now they're obstacles. So we just need to be a little careful of both the fishy fishies, the Scaracudas, who scare us because it's in their name. They are Scaracudas. And I kind of panicked there. Oh my god. Okay, Scaracudas avoided. Now we can continue on in peace. Let's just go ahead and kill these fools because they'll be in our way. And we just need to be careful. We need to not jump willy-nilly because, sometimes there'll just be a big silver coin waiting there for it wants me to pick it up, but we don't crave it. We don't desire it. We don't even need it. We have more money than we ever need. We have enough money to march into Captain Syrup's shop right now and say, hey, that was really messed up when you took my bottomless coin, but like money, like it's bottomless. Like we could like have shared custody of it. And actually, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be careful because there's a Scaracuda down here I could hit. I don't remember if we actually need the max velocity dasherator to continue on with our life. All we need to do is to not take any damage, so we just need to be careful. I need to not touch any of these good fishy friends that we've made along the way. And it'll all be good. We can march into Captain Syrup shop right now, buy that last thing that was unavailable to us prior to beating the Shake King, and have a grand old time. So we don't really need to worry about money now. So money meaningless to us, except for the context of here is a level mission. Actually, were those large silver? That one looks like it might be bigger, although that just might be me being weird. How are we gonna make this one? Okay, we just gotta swing at different points of the rope to not hit the coins, but also be able to make the jump. So we're gonna have to be a little careful here, especially with this one. Let me just actually go a little bit up so we have no chance of hitting it. And will I be able to make this jump? I just need to slide down a little bit. And okay. Sometimes I underestimate Wario's jumping potential because when you think of Wario, he despite the fact that the Wario games that I like the most are platformers, you don't really think of Wario as like jumpy, especially like with Wario Land 1. Like Wario, he's a rough and tumble dude. He's not here to jump around. He's here to punch around. Like he trundles along, showing off his massive muscles and his power. He's not here to wahoo, yippee, waka, like a certain fool that we all know and despise. And actually, I don't want to. I keep wanting to I should just run back and max velocity dash rate, but I don't remember if there's any Scaracudas in this water. So I just need to get on this rope, hop over here without any fear to get to the other side of this crackpot because it's scaring me because it could snipe us and then it would be a problem. I do wonder if there's what differences in the video game, like the programming to exist between the short fuse and the crackpot. I was trying to think of crackpot, and the only thing that was coming to mind was Scaracuda, which incorrect. They're both aquatic, but one is a fish and the other's an octopus. And I don't know what kind of scientific classification the octopi have. I assume probably their own because they're octopi. I almost like octopus, like that was a multiple, but no, octopi kind of freaks. Now there's a little shortcut we can take here. I don't know if I'll be able to stick the landing because if you throw that pitchfork correctly, Oh, and he fell out. Actually didn't realize they could fall out because I normally bounce off of them before I need to do anything. But you can set this up so where you can bounce off this pitchfork, and that's going to be too low. So we're going to need him to fall again. You can actually skip this entire arrangement here if you nail him into the wall. The right place, and then you hop off him. You can just skip that entire arrangement there, which is useful because there's lots of scary things down there that I don't want to mess up. So we're just gonna continue onwards. We hit the checkpoint, and I just like merged with my mic. My chin became a part of it. Okay, so now we need to get out of this quickly. We need to not touch any Scaracudas. We need to not get hurt. We need to not grab any. There's a lot of missions that we got to do now. Granted, we could just invoke a third run and have no problem. But my notes say we can do it in 2 runs. So we're going to try and do it in 2 runs, even if this drives me crazy. And I like took my hand off the controller to try and fix my headset, which I'm now doing. It was just scary because, you know, these bombs, they're coming in and they could get us at any moment. I really like this little segment. Like, I complain about it because, like, it's slow and it, like, oh, you start an escape sequence and you're immediately subjected to a slow segment. Kind of lame. But I do enjoy just the concept of it of, oh, here's a scary elevator ride, which video games love to do. And also, I personally was, terrified of elevators as a child. Did not like them at all. I broke down crying once, being forced to be put on an elevator. Just didn't like them. How much do we have? 145. We're not going to get out if we don't dash. I don't know if there'll be any dash raiders this other way, but we didn't go this way, so we might as well just see what's up. We can always hit the checkpoint again. Yeah, there's no dash raiders. This will take too long. But yeah, I think this elevator segment is almost fun. Like, it's a good idea in practice. Like, maybe if it was done before the escape, I wouldn't dislike it as much. Like, maybe it kind of sucks and you could, get right before the thing and then you'd be subjected to the elevator and then oh no, now I have to wait for the elevator and maybe I'll mess it up right here at this long segment and then you'd have to redo more. I guess maybe here, at least if you mess up, you can immediately restart. Just assuming you can only put 1 checkpoint in a level, which I think there might be levels with 2 checkpoints. Not entirely sure because we're in the half of the game. These are my least up on my stupid headset's falling off again. Might just have to play this without being able to hear the wonderful soundtrack of this game. But what I was saying about this thing, and I was trying to say about it, is that there's a little drainage thing, so the water can actually, does that go anywhere? I assume. Yeah, see, it doesn't go anywhere. It's just an explanation for, and I shouldn't have done that. I was I want to show it because I think it's neat. It's oh, hey, here's where the water is draining. The water is going somewhere physically. It's not just video gamey, where's it going? It's just going away. It's going somewhere, and that's not. I always appreciate little touches like that whenever it comes to designing things like Mario Maker levels, because that's the only video game thing I've designed in my life, unfortunately. Not counting level designs for a video game that I've definitely just sat on for too long and ended up throwing out because you made them a couple years ago. It's oh, these are bad, and I understand how to make them better. So you just kind of scrap them. But I always worry about what can I do to decorate this level and add oh, this is why this works this way. Here's a little fire on the thing to make a little campsite, or oh, here's a gear to show why this thing is spinning around. And by gear, I mean what do they call the saws? Grinders. They call them grinders in Mario, which I don't know why they didn't just call them saws. I'm guessing maybe we're doing that damn thing again where I need to dash down. We only have 145. I can't hit that. If I can't hit that on my first jump, then I don't think we're gonna have the time to turn around and do that multiple times. So I guess I'll see you when I finally do this. Okay, that took a while. That took a while to figure out. So, to get through the Scaracuda room, the first one that you're in, whenever you're dashing away, you want to press So I was mashing 2 to like, oh, I need to jump the second I hit the ground. So I was mashing 2. Whenever it turns out, just using your reflexes and just pushing it the second you see Wario hits the water makes him jump a little bit better. And also, I learned very quickly going that top route where you turn around to get the diamond doesn't work because they put a large silver coin at the end of the jump that you actually need to make to hop over the way and keep dashing out. So I just started like ending my dash and just trying to like get out. But then the problem I ran into is that Scarecuda room. To avoid the Scarecudas, I would swing on the rope, and then when I swing on the rope, I'd hit a large silver. It was an entire thing. And I'm going to be straightforward with you. I cheated. I used a save state because I got so fed up with that stupid elevator. I knew that elevator would suck. Like, I was telling y'all, like, hey, this elevator's in a bad spot because every time you restart, and after like the 15th time doing that, I was like, you know what? Dolphin has save states. I should use these. I wasn't sure if they'd work, but hey, they worked. So there's that. We're done with Gurgle Gulch. I think at some point I said I liked that level. I take it back. Ooh, that elevator frustrated me so. So now it's time to finish this video up with the Roll and Rattle battle, which I just now realized that Roll and Rattle battle sounds really nice to actually say out loud. Which we must beat the stage without taking damage, beat the enemy before time runs out, and don't get knocked over by the earthquakes. So some of the bosses kind of have little secrets to them, like I mentioned with Large Fry and Shake King, where, you know, it doesn't matter, because that's a thing for when we fight them. But they kind of have secrets to this one. This one I'm not really sure so much if there's a secret as much as we're just going to have to execute well. It's the first boss, though, so it shouldn't be too tough. The one I'm actually worried about is don't get knocked over by the earthquakes, because I'm kind of a screw-up. And I will have probably a little bit of difficulty, like, oh, when do I avoid the earthquake? I think he only makes earthquakes when he pounds with he head, so I'll hop when his head comes down, and I just need to... See, I just need to learn... Once I learn the timing for that, it won't be a problem. Where do you start when you retry a boss? It probably starts you off, like, right when the boss is spawning, not at the beginning of the Murphle Gate, will it? Okay, good, because it spawned you at the Murphle Gate, and you can skip cutscenes, so perfect. Perfect. I mean, I should have known that, because we were, you know, fighting the Shake King, and I was having a difficulty with him, so... Oh, wait, no, that's the second stage of the boss fight. What am I doing? I need to punch him, because we also now, you know, we have our time limit. I could have hit him a second time. I'm not actually sure what happens whenever... boss time limits run out, because I've never done the boss missions. You know, some of the other missions in the game I've done, because like when I played this game, I was, you know, when I first played the game, did not care about missions at all. So like if I did them, I did them. The second time I played the game, I was like, yeah, I want to do the missions, and then I got like to the halfway point of the game, like maybe around Neon City. Is that the no? We went to Glitter Town. I forget which one's first. Well, not really spoilers, because I think we've already opened it on the map. But we did the casino place. I think that's around when I like kind of gave up, because like, oh, I don't have time to like be doing all these missions. So I've never ever done the boss missions. So this is interesting for me to see like what boss fights are like. I've seen videos of people doing them. Just like, will I even be able to do these? Because I did not think I'd be able to do the Shake King one. And I still don't think I'll be able to do the Shake King one. Because you have to beat bosses without taking damage. And I'm not, like I said, I'm a bit of a screw-up. So I'm not really sure I trust my ability to defeat bosses in a... not only a timely manner, but also to do it without getting injured. Like yes, I lost to the Shake King. Like, I'm pretty confident in my ability to get to the second phase of the Shake King quickly, but it's neither here nor there. We're fighting Roll and Rattle, not the Shake King. So the Roll and Rattle, you know, avoiding the earthquake is just a matter of reacting to him, like bringing he head down, and I'm sure time is just about taking these free shots he'll give us, because like, you know, we can't hurt him whenever he's pink. Whenever He-Cheekies are pink, we can't hurt him. So we need to wait for He-Cheekies to turn blue again. But luckily, his cheekies do turn blue again while his head is going up, so we can, like, you know, sneak in a second shot there, so we don't have to entirely wait for him to, like, cycle around, which I'm not sure how integral that'll be to, like, beating him in a timely manner if, like, we have, like, you know, just barely enough time or whatever. And he's going to shed his fat little cheekies, so we need to be out of the way, or else the explosions will hit us. He's going to start doing lasers, but first he's going to do this earthquake, and this earthquake's what got me last time, because I let him go off screen, and I couldn't see that, so I couldn't react to it. Now, will your laser thingy... Oh! I was not expecting the very quick one. I wonder if I could get on his head earlier than... Like, if we can get on top of his head whenever he's transforming, like, we could just kind of chill up there. I don't know if that's possible. I'm sure it's possible if you know what you're doing, but I don't. I didn't want to, like, like, oh wait, I need to be punching him in the face. So I completely forgot I should be hitting him because I was like, yeah, I need to get on top of his head. So I was not thinking. Oh yeah, we can get on top of his head whenever he brings his stupid head. Duh. And in the second phase, like I was like, how are we gonna get up there? I was waiting for his little laser bits to start spinning around. But when he pounds, like, it gives us a chance to get on top of his head. I'm not sure what the time frame is. So yeah, we'll go for it. We'll figure it out. We're figuring this out together. There are videos of people doing this online, obviously, but I didn't want to like look them up and like, oh, I know how to do this just because I saw other people do it. So that's not my style. I want to learn how to do this my way. It's my way and or the highway, and I'd rather not take the highway because cars bad. Oh yeah, I don't think Wario has the jump to actually clear that and get on top of his head. Especially with the spikes on the side of his head, because if I were to jump, I'd hit the spikes, and I'd take damage, and then I'd fail a thing. And we're getting to that point with like, what, a minute left in the fight, so it's taking like 50 seconds to get through Fat Cheeky stage to get to the svelte, scary face stage. I was jumping a little wildly there, but it did work out in the end, so it's fine. I wish we could just hit him one more time whenever he's going back up, but unfortunately he kind of stops playing around. Is he going to drop his... I probably shouldn't stand under his head since he could just decide he's going to pound at any moment, but I had been standing on the left side of his face, and then suddenly the left side of his face did not have a lot of room since he kind of shifts around with the stage. I still do think this is a very cool, like, thematically boss fight. Like, oh shit, he's picking up the wall, and I jumped too early multiple times. I don't know how much time we'll have. He's I said he's jumping, but he's actually doing the opposite of jumping. He's pounding his face into the ground, which, not all that tactical of a strategy, not that great of a strategy. I was gonna say, typically using your face as a weapon, not very good, but headbutts always seem pretty effective in media, which is the only way I have to judge anything because I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school. So what do I know about anything? If it's not a circa middle school era fight, I have no idea what's going on. It's over. So I wonder if you can just stand in between these and be safe, because I've been jumping every time to avoid them, but you can just literally stand here. They're not all that threatening, although he kind of drops the pillars we're going to stand on in places where we would be hurt if he were to decide, like, if we just stood there. Once he drops the blue ones, we'd be in trouble. Okay, let's move out. When is he going to start spinning his drill bits? Because that's really the only way I know how to get on top of his head. I'm not sure if there's a way to, like, freak this thing out and get it on top of his head a little earlier. Oh, and I need to be careful. I need to react as soon as his head starts dropping. I keep wanting to react whenever the smoke comes out. The smoke kind of gives you warning he's about to do it, but I need to react to the actual head dropping. And that second one keeps getting me because I'm still using the smoke as the timing for it. Like, instead of like, oh, as soon as the smoke appears, you got to do it like whenever the smoke disappears. I say that and still jump whenever the smoke appears because I'm just being like trigger happy. Like, oh, I got to react to it. I'm not sure how tight this is. If I should like be restarting, like if I mess up this like first phase, whenever we can punch him twice whenever he's going up. Oh, and I couldn't get him there. I wonder if that was damage locked or if I just did a bad job at that, because now he's going to start dropping missiles. I am actually interested if like the bosses have like damage lock stopping you from like doing certain things, or if just, maybe I did a bad job there. Because like, not to talk about a different boss again, but the Shake King, obviously has a damage lock stopping you from depleting his health bar before you go into the true second phase. I mean, I suppose you could say it's the third phase of the fight technically, but I mean, he's kind of doing the same bullshit for the first two, and I don't need to jump for that one. I don't know why I keep jumping. Yeah, I guess you just get acclimated to, oh, I need to jump whenever something falls. Okay, no. This is the important one. This one, oh, there's a little Wario nose in the background. Oh, I need to focus, and then I notice there's a Wario nose in the background that he's normally in the way of, like on a pillar. There's a little pillar with Wario's nose. Like, I guess we'll be able to see it whenever he now his hand's going to be in the way. I was going to say whenever he brings his head down. I did a bad job. I was not reacting correctly. Maybe I can kind of lead him so he can show the pillar again, just in case y'all couldn't see it before. I mean, it was on screen, so now I've told you that it's there. You could go back and rewind it. I could go and edit this to like, oh, look, I could put an arrow on screen and everything, but I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to beat Roll and Rattle on this try. This is going to be the one where I don't know if I'll defeat them this try, because who can really say when things will happen? Who knows when 47 minutes of Ropey Jungle begin? I mean, I guess I could cut away here to me like, well, I figured it out, but we haven't even like scratched the surface of the second phase of the boss fight. I haven't been able to get him to let me on his head, because once I'm on his head, it's over. Because like I said, we fought him the first time. You can kind of like jump with his shockwave to like remain on his head, and I need to stay in a place where I can jump. Won't hit anything bad because we need to protect ourselves from his head. Now he's in a bad spot, so I'm gonna go ahead and run over here. Jump. There's the Wario nose. It's right above me right now. Oh, you know what? That's not a Wario nose. It's the Shake King's mouth. I now see it. That's unfortunate. Because I guess it's, you know, a statue of the Shake King, or like some kind of column with like his head at the top, and it's his mouth. But I guess his mouth, you know, it's zigzaggy W-esque, like Wario's mustache. You know, an opened mouth, a nose. What's really the difference? Your mouth is the nose of taste, whereas the nose is the mouth of smell. And that's just how it works. I wonder. Oh, I was not in a good spot to get. See, I feel tempted, like, oh, I should just cut away now, but we'll give it one more try, and then I'll cut away to me figuring out how to get on his head, just because I don't want this to be another ropey jungle situation where I have to cut out 47 minutes of footage, which, oh my god, I haven't looked at the clock, and I don't know how much time I spent in Gurgle Gulch, but it was a while I spent in Gurgle Gulch. I wasn't talking that time for that level, which might have led to, you know, me being frustrated, whereas in Ropey Jungle I was able to keep my cool, because I knew, well, I was going to say, you know, that was kind of a self-imposed challenge there. To be fair, it was once again a self-imposed challenge. It's not like I couldn't have broken up my run into like a third run and then had like no problem, because it's like, oh, then I could just dash out, grab silver coins or whatever, or do time on a separate thing. You know, it was once again self-imposed exile on my part. It's just I wasn't talking for it. Damn, I wasn't talking. Oh, no, I'd give up. I wasn't talking for it, so perhaps that led to me being frustrated. Whereas I could kind of talk through, like, oh, I'm having difficulties with this, and oh, this is how I'm overcoming this, and then eventually getting distracted and talking about Dark Souls or something. Whatever, it doesn't matter. There's 47 minutes of me trying to do Ropey Jungle. You don't go back and watch it unless it's like, hey, I wonder what it sounds like to hear someone's brain melt in real time, because if you do that, it's there, and it'll hurt both of us. And now I'm not really sure if my strategy of standing in the middle of these is working out as well as I thought it was, because before it felt like it was working, like very like, oh, it's so easy to just stand in the middle of these, but now I can't get this stupid part out. Oh my god, you can just get squished. You could just get squished. I thought he would hurt you when he did that, but he squished. Maybe I've been making a molehill out of a mountain. Whichever way makes that make sense. He could squish you and it doesn't hurt you. Oh my god! Why did the video game fooled me. I didn't realize you got a diamond for rematchy boss fights. Like I said, I've never done this before. Well, there you go. I was so like, oh no, I need to get out of the way. Like I started to get the timing down, but that third one kept throwing me for a loop. Like I figured out the second one, like the timing on that, but I was like, that third one keeps getting me. And then I was like, oh no, I'm stuck. Like if I try to jump over here, I might hit something that'll hurt me. He just squished you. It's fine. Wario can stop him from making an earthquake with his bot. I was like, okay, what if I try to counter him slamming his head with a perfectly timed earthshake punch? But no, it's not the secret. The secret. And then he was like, when his head was on the ground, I was like, okay, if you can't counter it, what if while his head's on the ground, you punch, maybe you can stun him, and then you can get up there somehow. I don't know, maybe he'll lower his laser. No, Hey. That, like, I was starting to be like, oh man, you know, I'm not doing a great job at video game today. Had such a hard time with the disturbing tombs and the gurble gurches, and now the roll and rattle, the first boss, who I was like, oh, this one will probably be easy, was kicking my butt, but everything's better, everything's back to normal, everything's good. I'm happy again. This game, it rules. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's time to read some treasures, and I'm gonna go eat some lunch. Instant tootin' ramen. It's been 3,000 years since somebody poured in the hot water. The noodles may be a bit soggy. Golden tissues. You don't know what luxury is until you blow your nose on a piece of 24 karat gold. oasis in a teapot. This amazing teapot never runs out of water. You'll have to supply your own tea, though. Imperial boxers originally belonged to a gullible and naked emperor. Check out those regal polka dots. Wario's dust cloth. Wario's embroidered dust cloth. Who put this in a treasure chest? Hey, I couldn't remember how to say the word embroidered. Who knows? Who really knows how to say embroidered? But it doesn't matter because the best treasure's coming up. Something important. Somebody said that this is really important or something. What's the big deal?